Good afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Jimmy Wilson, serving as the proud executive pastor of this great church, the New Prospect Baptist Church, under our senior leader, Damon Lynch III, and we welcome you to this awesome occasion, this awesome ribbon cutting ceremony. We do thank God for this opportunity to present this ministry effort to impact the lives of our young people and their families. In 2013, the United Negro College Fund updated their slogan by saying, "A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in." And while this slogan and while the United Negro College Fund is created this slogan specifically for the mission for college students, it certainly applies to any arena of education, and particularly in our secondary educational effort. In these few short words, it captures the imagination and enlightens the hearts as to what can happen when we are properly educated. Many of you know that education is the springboard to possibility, and it's also the foundation for a life of success. Here at the New Prospect Baptist Church, in our sanctuary, you'll see banners that describe our collective work for our worship of God, our studying of the Word, our witness of His goodness, and also the work to impact lives in this generation. And to further describe the kind of work we seek to engage in, we describe our sanctuary, our campus, our building as the village well, a place where the local and larger community can come and be refreshed, to be replenished, to find respite, and even to gain the resources that they need for their life's journey. There's a proverb, whether it's of African origin or not, it's under some debate. There's a proverb that says that if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And the moral of this proverb speaks to alignment, relationships, and partnerships. And so we're excited to create this Summit Christian School, which you'll hear more about with our partners, Urban Next. Thank God for Walt and Angela Tracy. But we're also glad to have several of our city elected representatives with us, Vice Mayor Jan Michelle Lemon-Kearney, Council Member Mika Owens, and Council Member Scotty Johnson. And so we're thankful for them to be present with us, and I'd like to invite them to the microphone if they would come in that order. Vice Mayor Jan Michelle.
Thank you, Pastor Wilson. This is such an honor. We are just so excited about the new Summit Christian School. I mean, this is, when I first heard about it and I heard that it was going to be here at New Prospect, my first thought, well, it's got to be phenomenal. I've known Pastor Lynch a long time. I've known Pastor Wilson a long time. And I know that if New Prospect is housing it here, it's something that is going to be fantastic for our community. And then in reading more about it, I really fell in love with the vision of the school. So it's all about helping the students to find their purpose, pursue their passion, and flourish. There's a lot about helping students to flourish. And so I was talking to Michael Bobo about this, and she said, this is really a different kind of school. It's not about trying to fit every student into, like every peg into the same hole, every student into the same mold. It's really about finding what works for every individual student so that they can live their best life and go after their own purpose. And so two great examples that she gave me. One, we talked about a young man who was interested in boxing. So you all know that in the morning, the school has, the regular classes, the reading, writing, arithmetic, history, all that stuff, social studies, all the things that we know schools have to teach our children. But then in the afternoon, they have the opportunity to connect with their passion. And so the young man who wanted to pursue a career in boxing started working with a trainer. And then there was a young woman, another example, who was interested in fashion design. And so they connected her with the University of Cincinnati DAP program, which is a world-renowned program for fashion design. And so I thought that is so exciting. It really is about helping students to live their best life, be their best selves. And I just think that's wonderful. I met some students here this morning. They're talking about filmmaking. They're talking about technology. And this just seems like the perfect place for them to grow, to learn, to get the education they need, and more than that, to get the experience they need and to do it in a loving, supportive environment. So this is a school that's destined for success because these students are destined for success. And so congratulations to all of you. Thank you for bringing this gift to the city of Cincinnati, and thank you, New Prospect, for being the supporters and the supporters right here in our city. We really appreciate it.
All right, good afternoon, and thank you, Vice Mayor. It's an honor to be with both of my colleagues, Councilmember Johnson, and what a beautiful day this is. What a amazing moment for this community. And so I want to start with thank yous, of course. Thank you so much, Walt, Angela, for the invitation to be here. Thank you, Pastor Lynch, for always being a pillar in this community, standing for social justice, and certainly education is one of those issues. And thank you, Pastor Wilson, as well. So, as we stand here today, we are at the front door of education. And so I want to take a moment to reflect on the power of education and the power of faith. And so it's only fitting to start with scripture, as I am channeling my inner pastor, no. But Proverbs 1:5 says, a wise man will hear and increase learning. And so when young boys and girls walk through this door, they will be empowered to hear that they are worth it and worthy, and be inspired to learn. And so supported by the adults that are in this room today, they will certainly be successful in increasing in that learning. And so as we are all students of learning throughout our lives, we remain lifelong learners. And so none of us were born knowing how to read, write, do algebra, drive a car, or even give a speech. But instead, it was the power of education, it was the power of our faith, our family, and our community that got us to that place of accomplishment. And so education, we are being reminded, is transformative, and it helps to build stronger communities and productive citizens. And it is the answer to economic mobility in our communities. It's the answer to eradicating poverty and eliminating the wealth gap, and even a combatant to gun violence that some of our communities have been affected by. And as a city, myself along with my colleagues, we are committed to investing in young people. And so I am thrilled. I know we are all excited about more schools like this opening up. Just this summer, 24 pools being opened in Cincinnati, and the passing of legislation like the Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights, and continuing to do things like allocate funding towards our Career Pathways program. And so these are just a few examples, but we know as a city that we are not done, and that it takes a village to be able to raise a child. And so our commitment to strengthening that village has to be certainly resolved more than ever. And so for the young people that are in this room today, know that the adults in this room, your family and members of this community, want you to succeed. We are here to support you and to encourage you to do your best, and believe in yourself and each other that you can do just that, because we are depending on you. And again, I want to thank you all for being here this afternoon. It's certainly a testament to the power of community. And leaving everyone with this, especially our young people, while some of you may be the first to walk through the door, we all as a community will ensure that you will not be the last. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for this amazing opportunity. very quickly, I am always happy when people get out of the comfort zone of the conventional and say, it's time to do something new. It's time to change the dynamics that unfortunately sometimes line everybody up to move as sheep and say, let's do it new and let's do it different. I'm not shocked that the Summit School was right here with a man, and he has a father that always did things unconventionally, always was willing to test the line to say, we're able to make this happen, always willing to go above and beyond. So I wasn't shocked, but I am looking forward to the amazing things that come out of the results of the unconventional thought and the willingness to do things different. People perish because there is no vision, Proverbs 28, because there is no vision. And because this is a vision that will move the needle and test the elements of our amazing young people, I see nothing but grand success. So thank you for the opportunity to allow me to speak, and thank you for the vision to say, let's try it unconventionally. Let's do it different, but not shocked that it's housed in a house of worship that moves unconventionally, but moves with the vision that the Lord provides. So thank you very much. Praise God and great success.
Thank you, Scotty. Appreciate those words. Thank you, Councilmember Owens, and certainly Vice Mayor Jan Michelle Lemon-Kearney. Thank you all so much. During my remarks, I mentioned partnerships. And Mr. Johnson, Scotty Johnson, during your remarks, you mentioned vision and journey. And bringing this Summit Christian School to the New Prospect Church has not been without a journey filled with trials, difficulty, and barrier after barrier. But I can't tell you how much we appreciate the tenacity, the perseverance of Walt Tracy and his wife Angela and the Urban Next organization to work through all of the different obstacles and barriers and regulations with which we were faced with in order to bring this school to a reality. So Walt, would you please come and share with us at this time?
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and special thanks to our distinguished guests from the city. Thank you all so much for coming and speaking this afternoon. It's a tremendous honor to welcome you all to the opening of this new campus. Today, we celebrate not just the opening of a school, but the unfolding of a vision and mission that God has deeply rooted in our hearts and in the hearts of our church partner, New Prospect Baptist Church. It all began with Anthony, a sixth grader I mentored on the west side of Chicago almost 20 years ago. Seeing he was bright and curious, but caught in a system that didn't work for him, I wanted him to have the same opportunity my children had to attend an academically rigorous Christian school. My colleague, Dr. Bernard Gant, who led Urban School Services for the Association of Christian Schools International, and I began to explore how could we offer this educational model to those who don't have the means to pay private tuition or move to a better system, and we founded Urban Next just to do that. Our mission at Urban Next is to partner with Christian ministries in urban communities and offer Christ-centered schools that accelerate learning and prepare young people to flourish in their calling. We draw on key biblical principles that recognize each child is uniquely and wonderfully made, and they're given an important purpose in God's kingdom. So our approach integrates high-quality digital curriculum, personalized learning plans, purpose discovery, and a supportive Christian environment in what is now called a micro school, though that term wasn't around at the time. This combination ensures that each student receives the attention and guidance they need to succeed academically and grow spiritually. But this vision wouldn't become reality without a strong church partner. And when I first met Pastor Lynch and Pastor Wilson several years ago, Pastor Wilson, you've already mentioned it, I was struck by the vision God gave them that New Prospect Baptist Church would be a village well, where the community comes for life-giving nourishment, education, resources, families are empowered. A school was a natural complement to what God was already doing through the church, and we appreciate their patience. Again, as Pastor Wilson talked about, it took a few years to work through the eligibility process for the Ohio Ed Choice Scholarship Program, but that's what allows us now to offer our program tuition-free to most of the families in the community. In the meantime, we've implemented our model at some other sites and seen some remarkable outcomes. For instance, 75% of our students achieved honor roll status every semester last year through personalized learning plans requiring a minimum of 70% proficiency before they move on in their study units. We've actually seen several students accelerate their high school credit attainment and put them on the track to graduate early. Spiritual growth is a little harder to measure, but we've witnessed significant improvements in student resilience and behavior, thanks to the nurturing environment provided by our dedicated teachers and regular encounters with Jesus through his word, prayer, and teaching. The testimonials from our parents really say it all. This school is really doing something right. I've never seen my child work and have these good grades before, was one. I was afraid my son would not graduate high school, but now we see he'll follow his dream, was another. As we stand here today, we're not just opening a school, we're opening doors of brighter futures, strong communities, and lives transformed by the power of Christ. There are so many people to thank that I know I would leave some out if I tried. So many have provided programming and services. I saw several in the room. Thank you. Others, wise counsel. Many are just walking beside us in prayer. Several are here, so I hope you'll take the time to meet them at the reception. But we especially want to thank, again, our church partners, New Prospect Baptist Church, our dedicated teaching staff, and so, again, hopefully you'll get the chance to meet them at the reception. Our at-work personnel team that allows Angela and I to spend time working on this, and the families and students that have trusted in us. Thank you, and may God bless this new campus and all who walk through its doors.
Thank you, Brother Walt. So this concludes our formal remarks. I'd like to invite us all upstairs for the official cutting of the ribbon. So God bless you and thank you for your time this afternoon.